Well, gosh, we knew we were only doing 16 for the final year. And it was very emotional for everyone. Pretty much felt like it was time to wrap it up. But still, we've been together for 9 years and we love these characters. And so it was very stressful. Everybody was having their own kind of stress in adjusting to it. I was very weepy, 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 weepy the last week. And then I lost my voice. And people had flown in from New York, all of Ray's family. Everybody's families were there. They had gotten hotels. James Lipton from the Actors Studio was there. I mean, it was huge. There were parties. We had done all stuff. We couldn't do the show. And we waited. We tried. We thought we're going to do everything we can. They gave me shots, and I went to the doctor, and I got these B12 or something. I don't know what I got. They gave me something. The next day, I was feeling like I was ODing. I was shaking so much from these shots they gave me, like Judy Garland or something, drugging me up and pushing me out there. I felt so horrible that we couldn't do the show and all those people were there. But literally, the problem was, too, part of the episode was that there was something wrong with Ray's throat. So if there was anything wrong with my throat, it would just been weird. So you absolutely could not have there be anything wrong with anybody else's throat on the show because it was about Ray's throat. So we really couldn't do it, and I felt horrible. And they just had a little party, and everybody went home. I think Ray and some other people went out and did some stand-up for a while, and then they came out and they said, we can't do the show. So it turned out to be the best thing because we did it the following week, and it was quiet, and there weren't a lot of people there, and there wasn't all the hoo-ha, hoo-ha. We went in, we rehearsed very lightly a couple times that week because we had been prepped to do it, so we kind of knew the show. And it became more of just about our group, like the way we started. And it felt really right, and I feel like it was meant to be. And it was very moving, and instead of having a big blowout party, we had a little party on the set, and Ray got up and talked, and Phil got up and talked, and we sat in the bleachers where the audience usually sits, and everybody cried, and everybody laughed, and had a totally wonderful experience. I loved it. First of all, I loved that they chose to only do half an hour. Most final episodes, they do an hour, they stretch it out, and it becomes something that the show never was. And it takes it completely out of what it normally would be. So I think they have a lot of integrity to do just the half an hour. But to be able to make such a moving episode and still have it retain its Raymond-ness. So there's a dramatic moment when we think Ray has died. And when the audience thinks he's died, I mean, I'm sure the audience was sitting there thinking, oh, no, they're not going to kill him in the final episode. And then, of course, he comes back, and we all have to talk about what we felt like when we thought he was gone. And it was so sweet and still very funny. And what was brilliant about it, there's a part where Marie finds out, we kept it from her, that we lost him for a nanosecond. And she finds out through Frank. And the minute she finds out, she's in bed, and she gets out of bed, and she runs over to our house and runs up into our bedroom, and Ray and I are laying there, and she leaps into bed to lay next to Ray. And Deborah has the line, something to the effect of, I knew this would happen one day. And it was just to have, because that's always been this weird psychosexual tension between Marie and Ray, at least from her end, just wanting him to always be hers. And to be able to actually have her get into the bed between us and have a visual of what Ray has always feared and I have always feared and what Marie has always wanted was brilliant to be able, and it was a very natural thing to happen in the context of that episode. So it was just a brilliant way to end the series.